Hey, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about breathing consciously. If you feel like you're often forgetting things, if you feel like you're clumsy, if you feel like you're always making the wrong choices or saying the wrong thing, it could be that you're living very unconsciously, meaning instead of being aware of what you're doing, you are stuck in the narrative. You're listening to what's going on in here and constantly talking in your mind instead of being focused on what's going on around you. And a lot of us live with that kind of duality where we know what we're doing in a physical realm, but then we're also just constantly narrating what we're doing or repeating the things that we're doing in our mind. So our focus is actually in here instead of out here. But when you learn how to focus your attention on your breathing, that helps kind of clear up the mind a little bit. When you become more aware of how you're inhaling and exhaling on a regular basis, you become more in tune with your physiology, with your body. Instead of just constantly being stuck in this narrative, if you start to breathe and feel that breath on a consistent basis, it helps clear up a lot of the stuff going on in here, because the stuff that we have going on in our mind isn't always necessary. A lot of it comes from social conditioning, a lot of it comes from anxiety, and some of it's from depression. But if you start focusing on your body and focusing on your breath, focusing on your heartbeat, by taking a moment and sitting still and breathing and just seeing what it feels like to inhale and exhale, it opens up a whole different aspect of reality that you didn't know was there. And that aspect is just seeing more clearly and being more aware of the way you're using your body and being more aware of your surroundings. You know what I mean? It's not being constantly stuck in this, you know, chitter chatter that's going on in your brain, because, we all have that. We all have the narrative in here, some form of it. And it takes away a lot from what we're doing, but when you can learn to breathe consciously and just take a second and breathe, it helps kind of refocus you, and it helps you kind of maintain a more clear path towards what you're doing. Whatever you're doing, whether if you're, cleaning your bathroom, or if you're spending, 10 hours at work running a production line, or, watching your kids, even reading a book. A lot of us, a lot of the time, I know I used to read, I used to be reading a book, and the entire time that I'm reading, my mind is just going on and on and on about either what I'm reading or how it correlates to what's going on in my life, and that's a distraction. That is a distraction, you know. So take a second and breathe. That's it. Thank you for listening.